we have a family bed, and we've been through many renditions of this family bed. But the thing that makes this family bed work for us right now, at this point in time, is that it's wall to wall. So we don't have to worry about anyone sliding off or the mattresses sliding around because they're wedged in there. We do have an extra mattress against one side so that the mattresses will stay together. And then we have this other mattress as sort of a faux headboard so that my daughter doesn't whack her head on the wall at night, because she's been known to do that on accident. Having a toilet next to the bed can make all the difference in the world. If my daughter has to get up and use the restroom in the middle of the night, it can be an extremely distressing, jarring, and panic-filled event. But if it's just right there and all she has to do is scooch off the bed and use it and then get back into bed, it is the difference between her being able to just go back to sleep and being up for a while. She sleeps best when she is literally touching someone, so she will sleep snuggled up against one of us, and that's how she's going to get her best night's sleep. The exception to that would be once she falls asleep initially, for the first 2 or 3 hours, she's usually out cold and she's okay if she's just by herself in the room. So my husband and I will come out of the room after she's fallen asleep, and that's when we get to have our time with each other. On the floor, we have this mat, and we have these little baby mattresses that we pull out in case she should roll off the bed. But the real key here is a lot of PDA kids, from what I've read in support groups, they really have a hard time sleeping because they just don't feel safe and secure. And this takes care of that. And guess what? Everyone in our house gets some decent sleep on a regular basis. It's not perfect, but it's way better than it would be. The alternative to this setup would be for me to get up every time she wakes up in the middle of the night, and I personally cannot get up and go across the house to another room and attend to a child and then come back to my room and fall asleep again. I just don't work like that. I would just not get much sleep at all. Yeah, I guess I could take turns with my husband, but the thing is, there's nothing wrong with sleeping in a family bed as a family. It's been done for centuries in many cultures, and in many places around the world, they still do that. It's kind of a privileged thing to have separate beds and bedrooms for everyone. And once upon a time, only the wealthiest people got to do that. I found out that people who sleep together as a family get better sleep, and they just feel safer and more secure. So there's no reason to make my life harder. And again, this is what's working for us. I know everyone's situation is different, but it's that experimentation process that got us to this point. It's being really open and really flexible to all of the different options.
At first, I was definitely opposed to it, growing up more traditionally. But she sleeps so much better, and she just really yearns for that closeness at night. I mean, the world that we have now, where we just cart children off to bed and make them face their fears alone in the dark by themselves, seems almost cruel. You know, these are children. And that's not the way it was, you know. Ancient times, even pre-civilization, families would sleep together, And why we all of a sudden decided, hey, this toddler has got to man up. It's like, that's idiotic. People in the past realized toddler's a toddler. I don't need to man up. And I mean, in other cultures too, co-sleeping is much more prevalent than it is here.
Well, is there anything you feel like you miss, or that you wish you could change, or something that was different?
I wish we would have figured the bed situation out earlier. The idea of just filling the room with a bed is quite brilliant. Having a bed that takes up an entire room so that wherever anybody goes, there's bed. I think it's probably the best way to do it.